right, so the next one's from Liam Stewart, and the subject is Dave Meltzer burying Karrion Kross. Hey, Konnan, hope you had a happy birthday. So I was listening to Meltzer and Alvarez's NXT review for last week, and I'd heard people in your comments section talk about how biased their reviews are, and they got talking about the Kross versus Priest match. They went a little hard. Meltzer said the Kross looked sluggish, out of shape, and not living up to the hype. For me, this is further adds fuel to the flames of the Meltzer is AEW ring rat fire. I think the Meltzer has seen people trashing Jericho for being so virtually out of shape. He sees how Kross is getting over with people, so now he's trying to bury Kross and turn his fat boy fan base against Kross in NXT. What does K100 think about Meltzer's comments? P.S. guys, at their peak, who's better between Kimberly Page or Tori Wilson? Well, Tori Wilson ended up dating... Who did she end up dating? A-Rod and who else? Isn't it crazy how some of the Nitro girls ended up dating all these A-list guys like Tori Wilson and
Keebler dated.
They were hot.
Keebler dated
Keebler with George Clooney, right? Yeah. That's just, bro. Dave's got his opinion. Dave likes in-ring, high spot, acrobatic professional wrestling. So he's not gonna, And this is dumb. If you're gonna pigeonhole Kross into if he didn't look good in one match, it's his body of work, you're out of your mind. Because the hype he builds up for these matches, he's just as good as anybody in the business, if not better.
Yeah, I don't think it's just like you said, I don't think he's particularly in Dave Meltzer or Alvarez's taste at this point, But
but there's one thing that stood out to me from that letter or email that he said that he isn't living up to his hype. Bro, you're right, he ain't living up to the hype. He's surpassing it. That's the best thing on that show. Forget the fact that he's our boy. That was the longest match that he was in. He might have looked, I don't know, too sluggish because that was like his first or second match back and it was long. But other than that, the guy's been money. He looks like a Hollywood actor. He's very believable. His offense is good. He's surpassed the hype, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, he'll put he'll have a minute and a half vignette on the show, and it'll be the best thing on all the Wednesday night programming.
And he's the most over. Idiot to think that, and he's the most over guy because of the way they portrayed and booked him. You know what I'm saying? And if he isn't doing something right, we'll speak on it. We'll speak out on it too. He knows it ain't personal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
what were you gonna say, Joe?
No, just that we were gonna have Dave before, and he had to postpone because of his family stuff. But if we can get Dave on in the next few weeks, we'll just have to ask him.
Yeah,
what he thinks about.
And let me just say about when the guy was talking about Meltzer. I don't know about that, if he was the leukemia thing that he brought up, that he was kind of like on, what was the question? Maybe I'm mixing it up with another question.
Oh, yeah. The question before was about how Meltzer and Alvarez kind of, they undersold Reigns' leukemia, or they said WWE oversold it, that kind of thing. But then they didn't.
Here's what they said.
They didn't report on Brody Lee's illness. So picking and choosing sides, I guess, is what he was bringing up.
All right. Wasn't in this letter, Joe, the guy saying something about that he has like a bias for AEW? That's what I think I was referring to.
Yeah, because he didn't. The way they reported on Reigns' illness was drastically different than how they have reported on Brody Lee.
Here's how they reported it. It was an awkward choice of wording. They basically were trying to minimize the cancer that Reigns had, like it wasn't the bad cancer or something. That's they weren't. They got caught just using an awkward choice of words, and everybody, of course, the outrage mob went after them on that. You know what I'm saying? So, this, and that's what people do. They're playing the card. Oh, you said this, and it's just the ping pong ball of hypocrisy back and forth.
And let me just add to that I don't know. I hear, and this is obviously, from the WWE fan base, that he always takes care of the AEW fan base, but I've read a lot of stuff on this show where he critiques the company, but do I think there may exist a bias due to his friendship with Tony and others in the company? Totally possible. But we also got to remember a lot of his success was built on his credibility. So is he jeopardizing that for a paycheck? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I will say this. You can't, if people think that there's a hint of bias,
right, it
doesn't help that executive presidents of the company named their finishing move after him. Okay, so there's obviously going to be a perception that he's biased.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like he can they can use that on him every single time. It's like, bro, they named their finishing move after you. If he's like comes, it's like it's the club that you can hit him with, just because
remember
it exists,
Right.
The next